Good morning, YouTube. We are back with another prep episode. This time, 11 weeks and 3 days out. But who's counting? I'm counting. If you're new here, welcome. Grab a snack, grab a drink, chillax, stay a bit. My name's Erin. I do fitness, lifestyle, prep, bodybuilding. I am also a coach, but I don't do a lot of that content on here. That's more my other socials. Quick little plug. Instagram is Erindunne.0. TikTok is Erindunne2.0 because somebody wanted the Erindunne original. So we had to do a 2.0. Right now we just got back from our fasted cardio. We're about to have breakfast, but because I just said the words fasted cardio, I reminded myself I did not have my morning drink supplement post cardio. So my pre-cardio is my 2 thermogenics that I take, the Carnitine and the Evo Burn. Another quick plug. If you want any Evogen supplements, you can use code DONE to save. All my clients do. They love the products. So do I. I would never suggest something that I do not like and take myself. So speaking of what else we take, we're about to do a scoop of their hydration and glutamine. This is a morning must-have on prep every single day. Training, resting, don't matter. So I'm just gonna fill this up with water. In the sink, we're gonna rinse out the Evo Burn from my cup. This is also a super easy way to get your water intake in because the hydration, the peach tea flavor, goated. You're literally drinking what tastes like iced tea if you blend it up enough. Throw some ice in there. Fantastic. And we're almost out of our glutamine. We're gonna have to open a new one tomorrow. We hit a new low today. So that was fantastic. I honestly thought I was gonna have my new low yesterday, but that time of the month started at the same time, so it just wasn't in our plan. So we hit a new low today. It was only by 0.1 though. I was 136.9, and we are moving and a grooving. We're taking it very slow. My first prep was a lot more aggressive. I think also because I had way less muscle. I'm gonna put a picture up that is from the exact same amount of weeks out from my most recent check-in and the same amount of weeks out of my first prep. I genuinely think my glutes tripled. My shoulders, I did not bring up as much as I really wanted to, but that is always gonna be like my lacking point, or like my thing that I need to work on is my shoulders. I've been hitting shoulders twice a week since my first show. I just have like a smaller upper body and my body does not like putting on muscle quickly. That also comes with my tall genetics, my long limb genetics. Bodybuilding, it is what you put in, you get out, but at the same time you can't outbeat your genetics. We did the best we can, but I want to put that picture up just so you guys can see, like, same weight and just glutes on max. So I'm really excited with the package we're gonna bring this year because that is something that I really wanted to prove to myself that I could bring something better, because I look back at my pictures at my first show and I don't know if you guys really noticed, I didn't post a stage video, I didn't post stage shots, I didn't even post like a front pose of myself because I was like, dang, I really just prepped for 20 weeks to have no muscle. And that's like, you gotta look at that and just to honestly bring yourself to like a realistic perspective, because you don't see it when you're in it. You want to think you're this like muscle mommy, like I'm so jacked, blah, 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 blah. Most of the time it's fat. And if you do a harsh cut like a prep, you're actually like yay big underneath. So for those jacked people out there that do a whole prep and are still so jacked, I have an undying respect for you. But we're about to eat this. We also have oats. We have 20 grams of oats and blueberries, but I have that in the freezer, thickening up. I don't like warm oats. It's not my vibe. So we're gonna eat this, drink our morning drink, and then we have legs today, so leg day is gonna be recorded. Also, everyone that used code DONE on the Alpha Elite launch, thank you so much. I was overwhelmed with the support that I got. I absolutely love you guys, and the video before was my Alpha Elite try-on haul. You guys seem to really like that kind of content, so I'm super excited about that. As soon as I get my next drop, we're gonna make another one. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so that you can get a notification when I do post that. Let's eat this food, and then I'll see you at meal 2. I forgot I wanted to add a little bit more to this episode just so you guys are getting more out of my videos. I wanted to do top 5 tips for prep. If you're new to competing or you're thinking about competing, these kinds of things can definitely help. My first tip, since I have 5 meals, we'll do 1 tip at each meal. Tip number 1, ingredient prep. Everyone gets so overwhelmed with the idea of, oh my gosh, like I have work all throughout the week, so I'm gonna have to make like every single meal for every single day for the next 5 days. No, just don't do it. Ingredient prep. Make all your chicken, all your rice, all your steak, all your whatever you need. And I use Ziploc baggies. I think those are the easiest and they fit in the fridge the nicest. So like gallon Ziploc bags I have of ground chicken, rice, steak for the week. But then I measure it out that morning or the day before so that I have everything for the next day. And the night before, if you're just measuring it out, that stuff takes you 5 minutes. You're not cooking it. So measure it out, have it ready so it's grab and go the next day. My oats, I do dry prep. It's 20 grams, so they're just dry in like a little container, and then I put some water, throw it in the microwave, ready to go. But I'm not stressing myself out about like, oh, Sunday has to be meal prep day. I would be making 30 meals for the week if I did that, having measured them all. And I honestly just think it's like, it tastes fresher when you don't separate and have all the meals like sitting all together. And like, I don't know if I have just like a food togetherness problem. If I put like my rice, my chicken, and olive oil and just have it sit together for like 4 days, it's not going to taste as good, in my opinion. Plus, rice stays so much fresher in the gallon Ziploc bag. It'll stay moist. It won't like dry out that it would in the container. Prep is hard enough. Take the things where you can, and ingredient prep is one of them. Don't waste your brain and energy on prepping 30 meals on a Sunday or Saturday or whatever. Ingredient prep. And just have your meals ready to be measured whenever you need them. I will see you guys for meal 2. I am the absolute worst. I just got back from the pool. You could probably tell my cheeks are a little pink. Me and my boyfriend just went to the pool and got some sun. And at the pool, I was eating my second meal because I'm actually not training after that one. So I had meal 4, and I'm gonna train later in the day. Like usually I train at like 12, but today I'm gonna train at 2:30 so we could go to the pool, get a nice little tan, and relax. Plus we got some steps in walking there, walking back. Totally forgot to show you guys my meal. I didn't bring my camera with me. It was 55 grams of sweet potato with 95 grams of ground chicken, olive oil, and I got pole beans. I meant to get green beans. The bag looked the same, and apparently they're the exact same bean, but just one's a different process in which like they like stop growing or like start growing. I don't know. They're bigger than green beans, so they're like thicker. It tasted fine. Same macros. So, green beans, sweet potato, chicken, and olive oil. And I use the sriracha maple sauce from Flavor God. And then we have this. Yoshi! Oh. He was there. Now for tip number 2. Tip number 2 for any kind of prep, no matter your division, no matter man, female, whatever. This is gonna sound crazy, but don't prioritize your prep. That being said, merely just think of prep as like checking your boxes. Steps, cardio, lift, food, supplements, maybe all of that checked. As for like where you put all of your energy and focus, make that be for everything outside of prep. That's why I said to meal prep your ingredients. So it's just one less thing you have to think about for prep, and you merely just take your brain out of that process of every day thinking about prep, or food focus or whatever. Focus on work, friendships, relationships, anything else that you enjoy that's not prep, and it makes prep go that much more seamless. Because if you're constantly thinking every single day, every little detail, and your main focus is prep, the time almost goes backwards. Like it goes in reverse. You put too much mental stress on it, probably too much physical stress on it, and if you literally just treat it like box checked, out of sight, out of mind. So like when my fasted cardio is done in the morning, box checked, out of sight, out of mind, I go about my day. I know my meals are already ready in the fridge, so I'm not thinking about my meals because they're already there. I already know what it's going to be. I already know the macros they are going to be. That's not even a thought in my brain. And I'm thinking, ooh, I'm going to go to the pool. What bathing suit I'm going to wear? What am I going to do after? What am I going to do tonight? Ooh, what show should I watch? Like everything outside of prep so that way the time flies. And it also just gives you a better mentality and energy levels throughout your day if you're not so like drained, constantly being like, oh, my next meal, my food, my steps, my macros, like breathe in and breathe out. It is okay. You're going to check your boxes as long as you stay organized and do the things that you're supposed to do, but just make sure you have your energy placed on other things, not just prep. Okay, so I actually remembered to film this time. We're having our pre-workout meal. It's our third meal of the day. It's usually our second, but we changed a few things up. We have 95 grams of rice, 110 grams of chicken. I don't add any vegetables to this meal specifically because it's my pre-workout. I don't want to be busy digesting while I'm trying to train. So we get two fun things in this meal. 4 grams of honey, which is not a lot, but it's still better than nothing. Perfect. And then we get 23 grams of peanut butter. And I was the biggest peanut butter in the chicken and rice hater, but when my fruit got dropped, I was like, what am I to do with this 23 grams of peanut butter now that I don't have it? Right in the chicken and rice it goes. But somebody said something to me that made me actually like okay to try it. And it was like Thai food peanut sauce, which literally goes so good on chicken, like chicken wraps, chicken and rice. So if you guys like any of that, you would kind of love this combo. It does make it a little hard to eat though, just with like the peanut butter being so like sticky, and so like to chew the chicken, rice, and peanut butter together is a little challenging. But we have this, and then we have an 1/8 teaspoon of salt that goes on top. So we're gonna eat this real quick, go hit some legs, and I wanna get some posing done because I haven't posed this week. I've been a little off. So we're gonna show you guys quick clips of that, but I want this video more about my tips and my food rather than my training. So tip number 3. Tip number 3, if you're not already on a training plan, make one, have your coach make one, but do the exact same exercises every single day of the week. Prep is not time to start introducing different things or changing up your plan every other day or even every other week. The point is progressive overload. You're trying to maintain as much muscle on this cut as you can, and the way to do that is just training hard, keeping intensity high, and keeping the movements consistent. You're giving the exact same amount of reps and sets to the same muscle groups so that you're maintaining that size and fullness as your body fat's getting lower. Because if you start letting training intensity drop, guess what else is gonna drop? The rest of your muscle that you're trying to bring with you on stage. So keep everything consistent. Another thing that you don't have to think about is just knowing that when I go into the gym, my training's already done for me, my sets and reps are done for me. I just know I have to show up, I have to train hard, and then I have to go home. That's all I gotta do. So along with meals being pre-made, ready to go, and then tip 2 was making sure that you're not putting all of your mental focus on prep. Number 3, keep training consistent, intense. That's about it. You don't have time to think about it. It's just another box you gotta check off, and once you do, you're done. So I'm gonna eat this, have a little work meeting, and then I'm gonna head to the gym, train legs, and show you guys what we're looking like this week. day finished. So we are looking a little leaner than I thought, especially my legs, but I was just telling Elijah that my legs lean out first. My glutes are always gonna have the most lines. I just wish everything else would lean out at the same time, because boy does it take a toll on my legs to get the rest of my body lean. Like the whole elliptical, I only have 15 minutes post cardio. Post workout cardio, and my legs like just burned the whole time. And I just had a whole leg day, so usually they're beat and I don't feel them that much, but I was feeling them for sure. Now we're gonna go home, eat a post-workout meal. I gotta work, so I gotta cook some more for my job. So we're not at meal yet, so that will be tip number 4 for prep. I don't know if you guys saw, well, of course you guys saw. If you're at this part, you would have already saw that part. But I have a few sets of shoulders at the end of my leg days. We're trying to bring up my shoulder volume. That is my weakest point. We want them to at least be semi-symmetrical to my glute size and my lower half size. So we're trying to bring them up. So my coach sprinkled in some sets at the end of both of my leg days, my hamstring and glute day, and my quad and hamstring day. So hopefully that brings some fullness that we're missing. But we're taking it slow and steady. We haven't lost crazy amounts of weight. We're gonna really pick up the pace in like 2 weeks here, and that's when things will start getting real. But I will see you guys at post-workout meal 4. Meal 4 kind of looks like meal 1 because we got the egg whites and the same sauce going, but we have our version of the bloat bowl. We can't do protein powders because they don't digest the best, so this is our protein source. And then we have 20 grams of Rice Krispie cereal, 100 grams strawberries, 17 gram peanut butter, and 18 grams of honey. This is just 250 grams of egg whites and some tomato onion mix from Publix. That's super good. And then I put the Melinda's black truffle sauce on top, and if you know, you know. Okay, tip number 4 is a good segue, especially post-training, to be practicing your posing before prep, in prep, leading up to your show, walking around in your shoes, your heels. You need to feel like that heel is an attachment of your foot. When you're on stage, you don't realize how long you're holding these poses, especially if you're like fighting for the overall. They sometimes have you on stage for like 10 minutes. And if you're posing the right way, your back hurts, you're out of breath, your feet hurt, your calves hurt. It is not a comfortable experience, and you need to be practicing that almost on like a daily basis if you want to be ready to step on stage and look comfortable, look confident, feel confident. You don't want to be wobbly in your heels, not being able to hit your front pose the best to your ability. You just trained for 5 months, however many months. You don't want to lose a show because you didn't practice walking in your heels. So that being said, tip 4, wear your heels everywhere. Practice your posing. Be one with the heel, because if you're on stage and say you hit a transition and your footing gets messed up because you're shaking in your heels, the judges can see that. The judges can see if you're shaking, if your walk is not the best, because a part of the overall comparison is a walk to the back. Imagine all the other girls practicing their shoes and they're walking to the back and their glutes are high, their backs are high, and your like knees are wobbling. That's gonna show to the judges. So just make sure your package is fully presentable down to the suit, hair, makeup, and your posing in your heels. That being said, we're gonna scarf this down because I'm starving. Ooh, and I gotta work, drop some meals off. We're gonna do that. And tip 5 is probably my most controversial one. I can already tell some competitors are gonna be like, absolutely not. But it's my channel, so I can say what I want. So see you guys for tip 5. I actually think prep brain is already kicked in, even though we're only 11 weeks out, because I got through like 95% of this meal before I was like, oh my gosh, I did not film it. What the heck am I doing? I got little clips. I had 40 grams of rice. We had the pole beans because I accidentally got pole beans instead of green beans. Do you know what pole beans are?
Mm-mm.
You see how my green beans were like fat?
I didn't look at it.
I meant to get green beans, and it's like a green bean, but like a different. I don't know. It's like they
A
stop.
pole bean?
Yeah, go look
Never
at them.
heard
They're in the
of it.
fridge. They're like fat green beans. But anyway, I did 100 grams of veggies. Then I had 136 grams of filet, and we put some of those spicy banana peppers on top. And then I had 200 grams of strawberries. I ran out of strawberries, so I ended up having like 10 grams of blueberries on top. And that is our last and final meal of the night. It's like 8:30. I started eating around like 8:10. So that was phenomenal. This was one of my favorite meals because the red meat just tastes better than chicken. But I know you guys are all on the edge of your seats for the fifth and final tip for if you're prepping. This is, like I said, one of the most controversial tips in my opinion. I feel like a lot of bodybuilders might go against me saying this. I hear so many people, and especially coaches sometimes, they're like, don't plan everything that you're gonna eat after your show. Well, tip number 5 is plan everything you want to eat after your show. And here's why. Me writing down things that I'm thinking about, lists that I make, the restaurant that I want to go to after my show and what I want to get off the menu, that eases my brain. That ameliorates the constant food focus in between my meals because I think it, I have a thought, I write it down, and I move on. The people that are saying like, oh, don't do that, just push it out of your mind. If you push it out of your mind, the more you try not to think about it, the more you're going to think about it. And then that's what causes the binge eating post-show because you tried to rewire your brain in prep to act like you don't actually want the good food or the bad food. When you do, if you want it and whatever you're thinking about it, whatever you're thinking, whenever you're thinking, write it down, put it in your little notes app. That's what I do. And then move on. And then it's a thought out of your brain instead of constantly telling yourself, oh, you can't be thinking about that and making yourself feel bad for it. If you've been dieting for 4 or 5 months, 6 months even, you're going to be thinking about food. You're going to be thinking about what you want after your show. And that way, when you have a list, I'm not saying make a list 40 something things long and make sure you eat all of it after your show. I'm saying I have like the restaurant picked out. I have the entree I want and I have the dessert I want after. And then I have a list of certain restaurants that I want to try on as my cheat meals while I'm reversing. Usually you get one cheat meal a week and those are the restaurants that I want to try where I live and I'm planning ahead for that. That's not going to hurt me post-show. It's going to keep me organized. It's going to be like, hey, you have these cheat meals coming. Takes the brain work out of it. So that is my advice. Write down what you want, eat what you want post-show, get back on your reverse, and nail your reverse. You won't blow up, you won't get fat. Everything's a win. But if you agree, disagree, let me know in the comments, nicely, respectfully, please. But I'm gonna finish up my fruit, get ready for bed, and then tomorrow, check all the same boxes again. Ooh, last and final box. Let's see. 13,600 steps. Easy. Boxes checked. And mindless. I didn't even check my steps until right now. So thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe if you want to stay with me all the way till show day. Yes, let me know in the comments what you think about my tips. If you guys have anything to add for any future competitors, drop it in the comments. But I will see you guys for the next episode.